How familiar were you with Michael Haneke's work when the opportunity was presented to you?
I was very familiar. I'd seen and loved 3 of his films. The Piano Teacher, which was in the Cannes Film Festival when I was shooting. When I was there with Mulholland Drive. Code Unknown. Alejandro Gonzalez played that film for us, Sean Benicio and myself, before shooting 21 Grams. He wanted to use it as a form of inspiration for all of us. And Cachet. I was a big fan of his work, and that was my initial interest. That's where it began.
But the original Funny Games too, or no?
I saw that afterwards, and I was deeply disturbed. But I watched it at home with a friend, and we found ourselves talking, just reminding ourselves that we weren't actually there in the room experiencing it with them. But I liked that it got under my skin. I liked that it played with me. I liked that it was so full of surprises and breaking conventions and telling you what it is and then saying, I know you want it, but you can't have it. I liked that manipulation, even though it at times angered me.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to him. Actually, first of all, I wrote to the casting director who had sent me the movie, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this moment and that moment, and I hated the way this happened and then that happened, and he was playing with me, and I felt violated, and but it made me passionate. I felt the experience,
Right.
and that's, to me, always a success when a film moves you to that
Right.
point and gets under your skin, and you feel engaged.
After seeing the original, did you have any second thoughts about doing the remake? After seeing how demanding it probably would be?
Yeah, I did. It wasn't a no-brainer. It wasn't like, okay, yeah, let's do it right away. I worried about how it would land with American audiences. Will people get it? But once I heard... I got the experience, and then I heard Michael articulate what it is that he was trying to do, which echoed what my experience was of it. And so I felt, although it was a difficult decision, I felt like this was something I had to do. And I sort of bounced the idea of it off people that I respect. I called them and said, what do you think about this idea? People that had seen the film and people that knew Michael Haneke. And
Sure. What was different
said yes.
What was different about working with Michael versus other creative directors that you've worked with in the past?
Well, he comes with a very, very specific, mapped out plan. And obviously this was a remake, and he was doing the shot-for-shot thing, which was so challenging, because if the shots were already designed, then it meant that the blocking was too. And we were all terrified of coming across as though we were doing the same thing as the actors before
Right.
us. And I think whenever you do a remake, you're afraid of that. But when you are moving the same as them, then you feel a little bit more terrified. But I think Michael is someone you just trust because he's so connected to his ideas. He's so passionate about them that ultimately you just have to give over and believe in him. And I sort of just saw it as an extra challenge and an extra discipline, and it added to the tension of it.
All right. So Michael Haneke intended this to be a commentary on violence in America's cinema. Do you think remaking the film in English with a more known cast will allow this commentary to be seen in a wider audience?
Well, yeah, that's the intention. He always made it for American audiences, and the fact that it didn't reach here was, a shame for him. So when Hollywood called and said, hey, here's a bunch of money, let's do this movie, I think his intentions remained the exact same. It wasn't like, oh, okay, now I get the opportunity to change this and change that and glorify that moment. And
Sure.
his intentions remained completely pure, and let's see how it lands. I have concerns about it. I don't think it's going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's not for the light-hearted. It will be you know, because it's talking to the horror genre, even though it's not. It's got one foot in, one foot out. You know, it's also an art film, and it's to me it's more of an intellectual exercise than you know, a shock horror
Sure.
entertainment film.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.